Hello guys, Berduka here, and today we're going to be talking about something cool and weird. Kind of. Now, if you are anything like me, or, well, in very specific parts like me, then every time you watch an alien invasion movie, or really any form of entertainment pertaining to contact with the ever-growing flamboyance of space homies, you just might spend half the time enjoying it and the other half questioning just how could a moronic species of aliens become so many leagues more advanced than us in every way, shape or form, and how in God's name do we defeat them every time? But if in the extension of our conjoining parallels you are still like me, you'll learn very early on not to rely on cheap sci-fi produce to form markups of the potential alien races. In movies, humans have to win. It's a great source of pride, and in whichever way we win, it proves that we are, I don't know, special or something. In reality, however, well, I do wish to make something immediately clear. All of what I'm about to discuss is sheer hypothesis, or well, hypotheses. Nothing about it is verifiable, and assuming stuff plays a great role in the outcome of this video. However, these are not just random assumptions. By taking our technology as the baseline, I will try and postulate what would a realistic invasion of Earth by realistic alien species actually look like, and the sad reality that we would most likely never win. Anyway, let's get started! The fascination with aliens is nothing new, and neither is the concept of them versus us. But it remains a facet that continues to grip the general populace's attention. Trends come and go, and yet there always seems to be a place for an alien invasion movie or a TV show to make its mark. This is in large part due to the sheer amount of possibilities, in that nearly every invasion can, to a certain degree, play out differently. Unlike, let's say, the trendy zombie stories that generally play out in one of two ways. We either live or we die. Or we fall in love with one of them. Sheesh, talk about a problem. So, let's start from the beginning. If the alien race is invading us, we can already assume a technological prowess well beyond ours. This includes long-distance interstellar travel, a redundancy of a statement if I've ever made one, larger, more complex and more flexible sources of energy, military technology that will put all we built to a toy level, probably much longer lifespans, and so on. Generally speaking, they would at least have to be so-called Type 2 Kardashev, something with Karda. It's not Kardashians, though. I will put a name on the screen. Anyway, they would have to have reached this so-called Type 2 civilization, meaning that they managed to completely utilize all the resources pertaining to their local stellar system, like our solar system. For reference, Type 1 requires a species to be able to harvest all the resources from its home planet, something that we're actually yet to achieve, sadly. Implications extend further, as they'd most likely have far higher population than us, probably in tens if not hundreds of billions, and, well, they might not be, how do I say this? See, transhumanism will be a thing in the near future, and a species with hundreds if not thousands of years of headway in the branch would have most certainly largely perfected body modification, to the point that they might have even managed to digitize themselves entirely, which would mean that no actual alien would ever attack us, but rather their digitally uploaded minds controlling drones or robots or kobolds or what have you. And well, that's actually a very likely possibility, as the assumptions of Type 2 civilizations in what they can do underlie one technological discovery more so than any other, so-called technological singularity. This is, however, where things get to the iffy and complex part, so I won't talk in too much detail about it, as the variables it creates are just, well, nuts, and I am not a mathematician by nature, so calculating all that stuff is, yeah, that's a no from me, dog. In a nutshell, TS, Technological Singularity, is the AI program that underwent machine learning ad infinitum until it reached this abstract, hardwired limit. Just think IQ of a couple of 100 million and the power of the entire stellar system at its disposal. So yeah. With TS present, it also means that most other technologies have been researched, so research and energy harvesting, medicine, physics, and yes, war toys. We have a pretty good idea on what the futuristic laser cannons might look like and do, and if we had the materials and the energy required, they wouldn't actually be all that hard to build. You might think that the planet exploding razors from Star Wars is just a way to make the darkies seem OP, but they are a very real potentiality actually. You, as an alien species that is, wouldn't need to actually blow up the entire planet, just cause enough chaos to start a chain reaction so that the planet blows itself up. Or at least everything on it. So, in the worst case scenario of an alien invasion, I'm sorry to say, but none of us would even know we were technically invaded. Or killed. One moment you'd be happily gorging on your futuristic Mountain Dew with 0 calories, and the next, you'd become the same cosmic dust you once were, a long time ago. And well, that's a bit boring. At least we have to be given a fair shot at winning, right? Well, even if you exclude the planetary blow-up lasers, truth of the matter is that it doesn't change much. A lot of people mistakenly correlate colonization of Americas to how the alien invasion would go, and extrapolate from it that the supposed aliens wouldn't have built up immunity system that could outperform our deadliest microbes. In reality, however, whatever grotesque and deadly thing nature has produced, we either already have or will in the near future have the ability to synthesize something far more grotesque and deadly, and there's no reason to assume that a hypothetical alien species wouldn't be the same. Immunity system isn't a static system. It progressively gets stronger and weaker depending on your lifestyle, habits, age, genetics, and past exposure. If you have a child grow up in a literal bubble of isolation and suddenly expose him to the most common cold for the first time at the age of 12, it'd be like us kind of fighting cancer. Immunity system works on the basis of recognition. If it spots pathogens that are not under the filter or friendly within its code, it attacks them. So in theory, once we obtain absolute perfect knowledge of human body and are able to scan for every individual cell and atom, we can simply artificially embed all that code into our immune systems and they'd kill whatever alien pathogen invaded us before it even know what hit it. And well, aliens that can travel galaxies would most likely have that ability as well. But let's take a step back for a moment here. All of these points hinge and are made under the assumption that whatever alien species is coming our way is actually hostile. Now sure, Earth may be abundant in resources, but it's hardly the only place you can find cool stuff. Besides, augmentation of matter, that is synthesizing stuff into existence from base particles and molecules, is a definite theoretical possibility, especially with technological singularity in question having been researched. It is likely that resources and energy wouldn't necessarily be a problem for the spacefaring alien species, as if there's something they can't harvest from the numerous other places in the universe, chances are they won't find it here. The likely scenario is that they genuinely randomly stumble upon us and invade us out of curiosity and wonder. The same thing we do if we went to, I don't know, Pluto and found some intelligent kobolds making fires and singing songs there. Rather than kill them to steal all that sweet Pluto stuff, chances are we'd quarantine them and study them out of sheer pure natural curiosity. In addition, all those militant galactic empires that are often depicted in multi-alien shows and movies, well, the tyrant empires, kingdoms, nations, whatever have you, tend to be really powerful during their initial stages of development. However, they are not sustainable, and by that I mean they're not self-sustainable. Every nation, every kingdom, everyone who did not transition to diplomatic and formal relationships eventually ended up failing, because that's what places where a power vacuum is created each time a leader dies do. they collapse. So yeah, the truth is, they might just settle outside of our orbit using their mega advanced cloaking systems and just watch us like we watch reality shows, laugh at our absurdities, cry when their favorite contestant gets his heart broken and booted into an early grave, exclaim in genuine awe when we discover something new, and share in a smile with us when that something new helps us make the world a better place tomorrow than it was yesterday. Alien invasions are a fun concept to think about as they are ripe with possibilities, but I'd stay clear of making conclusions and absolutes from what often amounts to cheap fiction. Civilizations are a complex, multi-layered thing, and I barely, if at all, managed to scratch the surface of all the possibilities in the spectrum. Under the current status, however, we are far more likely to simply be observed than invaded for resources. These resources might be a lot to us, but to a species controlling an entire stellar system, sometimes perhaps even larger than our own solar system, and likely expanding to the neighboring ones, it's really a droplet in the ocean. I know it might not provide you an opportunity to be a completely ordinary seeming dad with 007 skill set and immense hacking prowess you picked up in kindergarten, with a completely ordinary family of a randomly modern levels of hotness wife who is also somehow a quantum computing machine, and 2 kids, a boy and a girl, who both suffer from some deficiencies because life is a struggle and you're just struggling. Nonetheless, I think this is even more exciting. I'd totally like to be a pet for an alien race and have them feed me super expensive stuff, whereas I'd rather just eat some chicken. This has been Better Than a Coup, guys. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time.